Welcome to another episode of Little Talks, your weekly dose of marketing news and insights from Littlefield Agency.
Welcome back to another edition of Little Talks with Littlefield Agency. I am Sam Littlefield. With me is
Roop.
Roop has created an AI onboarding agent for the agency, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm taking a 10-question quiz. I just got one wrong, but I think it's absolutely BS.
Well, yeah, and it's a fun.
It's super fun. So let me read the question to you. Who should you meet with to learn about Ditch Witch product line? Brock Campbell, Zach Bateman, Mike Rocco, or Reynolds Wallace? By the way, all four know the Ditch Witch product line.
There's no wrong answers, technically. Yeah.
I went with Brock because he is the kind of overall strategist on Ditch Witch. The answer is Rocco.
But per onboarding assignments, Rocco does that here.
So per the onboarding, I'm not up to speed on onboarding assignments. But anyway, some interesting questions here. I was feeling really good about making 100. That's not a good sign that I'm not making 100%.
Need to be re-onboarded.
Roop, it's good to see you first off. I've been kind of, last week I was on a couple of different airplanes, a work trip. We had to have a family funeral in Colorado. It was a beautiful service for my wife's grandmother. She's lived to be 87 years old. So it was nice to honor her back at her family's ranch. And it was a gorgeous Colorado weather and scenery. So it was nice to be back up there and see her family. And, but yeah, it's good to be back at the agency, man.
Just in time for tornadoes.
Yes, we are. Goodness gracious, we're under a tornado watch. It's that time of the year that people. We'll see if you can check in next week on the podcast. But when they predict a huge tornado, it knock on wood doesn't happen. Yeah. It's when they don't really predict. They're like, oh my God, take cover.
Yeah.
You know?
So we're just
like the whole state's under an emergency.
But we're all very skeptical.
Yeah,
we're always very skeptical.
Hell, it was so funny. My parents are coming over, and I'm grilling chicken tonight. I hope there's no tornado.
That's high winds or not. That's happening.
Now I just saw south of us in Henrietta, about 45 minutes from us. They are under a tornado watch right now. I think a lot of this is going south. So anyone in the middle of the state or southern Oklahoma, we are thinking of you because.
Or north of us. I think they've had some issues as well.
Oh, it's just going around us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, did you hear that thunderclap yesterday? And I'm not talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, who won Game 7. Thank God. There you go. I'm on it.
Where's
Claude.
our sound effects?
Claude.
Good Lord.
Claude.
Isn't there like a
I thought that was a nice zinger.
It was.
I thought that wow. Anywho, well, I lost that moment. But Thunder won, which was amazing. However, though, there was a thunderclap so loud that I jumped out of my chair. It was like it was on top of my house. Thanks, Claude.
A little late. Yeah, I don't remember hearing it. I was probably napping.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds lovely. Are you going to rub it in some more?
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. We have do you have any agency updates?
No, I got none.
We had a crew from Ditch Witch in on Friday. Two newer employees, so they got to see the space. I was out of town, but Reynolds and Taylor and Brock told me it was just a great morning. And then we got a busy week. I'm working on some proposals, which is fun for some prospective new clients. That's always invigorates me.
And
gets the creative juices flowing.
This is a short week, isn't it?
This is a short week, so is an added added bonus for the staff. We give off the Friday before Memorial Day and Labor Day. So instead of just them having a 3-day weekend, because everyone, obviously, you all are off on Mondays, the Monday after that holiday, but they get the Friday and Monday. So we got 2 back-to-back 4-day weeks, which I think is great. It also really jam-packs and front-loads, I guess, both weeks.
Yeah.
But it'll be good. Are you doing anything for Memorial Day?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
You going to get a tan on?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Sunburn.
Claude's about to be super tan. Holy smokes.
I already got it.
Oh, she's already got it.
I'm already tan.
Yeah. You really are.
Yeah.
Italian blood.
Tan?
Arizona, and then this weekend I was out by the pool.
Oh. Arizona a la Italy. Because she's Italian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Okay, we've got a great topic for you today. I'm very excited, Claude.
Hold on.
So the question is, has AI-based search killed traditional search and SEO? I want to give a shout out to a client, won't name names. They asked for an agency point of view on this, and I think it's a wonderful question. Said it really spooks him in the sense of the future of search and how they as a brand are showing up when people are searching. And we said we not only provided him a point of view, But we said we're gonna launch a podcast. So
I'm impressed when anyone thinks about SEO, period, let alone AI search and how that's affecting SEO.
And I think it's really timely. I've been on 2 different webinars in the last 2 months, and it's like I think the headline is organic social dead and is SEO dead. And it's just some good thought-provoking content. The answer is no, by the way.
Yeah,
it's not dead.
It's still in there.
It's the evolution of this. So we're going to walk you through this today. And let's first off talk about how the search landscape, it has significantly changed in the last year.
Yeah, and we may bounce around a little bit on this topic today. And Sam missed one word in today's title. It's how AI-based search, has it already killed traditional search and SEO? Has it already done it? The answer is no, not yet. It hasn't already killed it. And there's some debate on whether it will kill it long term, but it's definitely having an effect. And so I've been reading, Chris and I have both been reading a lot of articles about this in the last week or two.
Well, we opened this up to our CEO network group too. Like
it's a big topic.
It's a good topic.
We are in charge of this stuff. We want to know how it works.
Yeah.
But the kind of short answer is it's starting to have an effect on search, and you can go look at the top sites out there: Google's, Yahoo's, Bing's, and sports sites, ESPN, things like that. You can see traffic starting to go down a little bit. The traffic you see going up by double digits is ChatGPT and some of the other.
He said, I think 13%.
It's around 13.4%, something like that. So as it gains, others are losing, and that makes sense because people are starting to use AI in the same way that they do searches. They're asking it questions. We've always said this is how people show up in search results on traditional search. Your content needs to answer a question. So because that's how people use it. They ask it, where is this? How do I do that? Where do I find this? What's the cost of XYZ? Now in AI, though, you can ask those same questions and kind of get more kind of human language, wink, wink, human language responses that go out and do all the searching across multiple sites and bring back curated information for you. So as people are starting to do more of that, Google on my app, Google shows if you're logged into Gemini, their AI tool, the Google app will show you searches as the top option. You have to kind of click into traditional search now. So even Google's like, we'll just give you AI search for us.
And they're calling it an AI overview.
Yeah, that's the results they'll give you there. Yep. That's within traditional search. If you do an AI search, they'll send you to Bing. And you're not going to get a list. You're going to get a paragraph back. Yeah. So even the search engines are starting to lean into this and say, well, what can we do to kind of it's coming. People want to use it this way. How can we manage it? And so, AI search or AI generated search is here.
So there are brands that have spent well over a decade in establishing them in the world of organic search. Yeah. Right? SEO is huge. And again, it's not dead. But so you've got this, and for everyone listening, right? You type in a Google search, it's at the top. And then you've got paid, you've got organic. So walk us through that thinking of the importance of organic search still in today's AI search world.
So organic, and
by the way, I feel like we could talk about this for an hour. So, and I don't know if we kind of segment this, but
I want to again reiterate: there's a difference between doing a traditional search and Google giving you AI results, and then some ads, and then your organic search results below that. Which organic's gotten down to like maybe 10% of the real estate, if it's even there at all, on mobile, where most people use Google to search for things. But how do you prepare yourself to show up in either those results or in AI generated results on something like ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or whatever your poison is? And the answer right now is we kind of know a few things, kind of similar to how we know a few things about SEO. There's a formula for how you show up, and we know 12 out of the 250 elements on that. We know about that many, maybe a little more for AI and what they've kind of told us, and there's been people doing some trial and error. But the kind of short version of that is that if you were already doing really well and were a big player in the SEO game, that's probably translating pretty well for you in AI. But before we talk any more about this, I want to also kind of lay this out. When we've talked about organic search in the past, you think about your rankings, right? Am I on the first page, second page, third page? How high am I up on the first? Am I in the top 2 spots? There's a ranking to it. And if you are someone who's into SEO or analytics for your site, you can kind of go see, I on average show up at the 2.3 position or something like this. That's not how search results show up in a AI tool.
That's true.
When you're chatting with an AI tool, it doesn't come back and give you a ranked list of things for you to click off and leave and go read. It does the reading for you. It does the synthesis for you, and it comes back and gives you a paragraph or two with maybe some bullet points that says, here's an answer to your question. Here's what people think about this. Here's where you can get more information. Do you want me to go get that information for you? You may never even leave chat to go to a website.
Isn't that wild? Like, that is crazy.
It's just different. So on Google search results, there's a list of links, and you may click a few and go back and forth and kind of examine them yourself. AI is doing all that for you and kind of bringing back to you results. You don't really have to go to those sites unless you just are curious more.
So what point? Because I think about how the marketing funnel and sales funnel is changing and will continue to change. So I'm in the market for a zero turn mower. I'm asking, hey, what are your 3 to 5 recommendations? Which again is so interesting because we could totally do this in Google search, but we never have. But now we trust this AI, LLM.
A little bit, yeah.
So then, okay, hey, I've narrowed it down to 2 or 3. I, as Sam, I feel inclined like, hey, now I'm going to go to Grasshopper's website or whoever's website and just do some deep dive research.
Yeah.
But you can do that in ChatGPT.
You don't really have to.
I know, right? So I do think about the purpose of a website because, and Roop and I have talked about this before, and this is different than AI, but it's the same thing of my wife does all of her research through social media. She's following her influencers, et cetera. And then when she's ready to make a purchase, then she goes to that brand's website, does some more research. But you're saying that this is just evolving into, I've got one platform and it's going to give me everything I need. And then, hey, are you ready to contact a dealer? Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, I read an article where a guy said that basically AI interface, that one little window where you enter in your text is basically the internet now.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? But but how did your website...
Such a wild way to think about it.
It is a wild way.
So
you kind of ask yourself, what's the point of a website now? Well, you have to have something to feed to that AI result, right?
Because that is, and I just did a quick search on something, and it was like, hey, analyzing the web, right? So so you want to
have your content prepared in a way that AI can digest it and show you in its version of results or its answers to people. There's not really, like I said, there's no analytics currently for this, not a real metric for it. I did see something HubSpot's trying that I wanted to mention because I like the concept of it, even though I kind of doubt its execution totally. They have this tool that'll let you enter in your brand name and what industry you're in, and they'll give you a score. And there's two metrics they look at: favorability and how often you show up. So you may get a favorability score of, say, 70, which means 70% of the time your brand is being spoken about or referenced positively in AI result. And the other one is how often do you show up, and you show up 10% of the time. 10% of what time? I don't know what that means yet, but I kind of like the idea because it's not about rankings anymore. It's how often do I show up and is it good or bad?
Well, then I wonder, so if I am on Google and I'm looking for said B2B product and I've got the AI overview snippet, I've got page, is Google going to start, not only because it's aggregating, organic content from X, Y, and Z platforms, including your website, but then you also is it going to reward you of, hey, I know that that Grasshopper pays Google money through paid search. Am I going to prioritize them in my AI overview?
Yeah.
And then I scroll down, and I'm like, oh, there's Grasshopper and a couple of other competitor. You know what I mean?
The ads part of it.
Algorithmically, I don't know how that happens.
I think everyone thinks that at some point the AI platforms will opt into some sort of paid component to bump your visibility. Yeah. Chris and I are a little doubtful of this just because it kind of goes against the nature of what it is.
Yeah.
And right now it's struggling to get trustworthiness. And when you start adding ads into it, that drops a little bit.
That's interesting.
But if you have, I will say that the marketing things we talk about a lot that I think sometimes are considered soft metrics are about to become more important.
Boom. Okay, so you read my mind. You said this earlier as we were talking about this in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. Talk to me in the sense of brand awareness, because I loved what you brought up earlier.
If I don't know your brand's name, I can't ask ChatGPT about it.
Yep.
So brand awareness all of a sudden means something again.
Which again, over the last 7 years, brand awareness has been a very low priority for a lot of not only just brands in general, unless you have crazy budgets like a Budweiser, Nike, et cetera, because you, Mr. and Mrs. Marketing Director, are under C-suite pressure to sell more stuff. But now there's this flip, and yeah, I've got to know the brand. I mean, that to me, when you said that, was very fascinating. And of course, there's other parts of the funnel that are important, but it's like
you don't even show up if you can't get brand awareness, right?
It's a big deal.
Brand awareness is going to be key. We know that's a big one moving forward. Your sentiment, how people talk about you in reviews on Google or Amazon or Facebook. And not just in reviews, but just the sentiment of people complaining about your brand or praising your brand out there.
And you're telling me that, let's say that people are consistently having a bad customer experience with said brand.
Let's say you're American Airlines.
Okay. I like American Airlines.
Do you own
are
stock?
They perfect?
What's going on?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. But I fly them a lot.
Yeah.
I'm flying them soon again. Yes.
Good luck.
Don't put that out there, man. Come on. I don't need bad juju. But okay, example, American Airlines.
Yeah. So if you've got a lot of people complaining about you out on the internet, in terms of reviews or tweets or social posts, or heaven forbid a news article that shows up on a really good site like your local newspaper or CNN or Fox or something like that, that's not great. Like, so now PR maybe matters a little bit more as well. Like, you want people to have positive. You don't want an AI result to say, well, we know you're planning it. By the way, it'll plan a trip for you and buy the tickets too. We can talk about that on another podcast. Let's say you go and you're searching, hey, I'm looking for a flight into LaGuardia, and what airline options are there? AI may come back and say, well, we've got American Airlines and United and Delta, but you might want to avoid, even though American's cheaper, you may want to avoid it because 90% of the time they don't get you there.
Like, you really have beef with American, don't you?
So like, that's kind of how AI thinks and will give you an answer. And by the way, that's very different again than seeing a list of options and clicking one. That's inferring like some humanness to it.
Which is interesting too, because like, as we've alluded to over the last year, and especially with these Gen Z millennials, they are looking, I can say that because I'm a millennial, we're looking for brands that we trust, right? Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you will spend more money for a brand because you can know, love, and trust them than get the So I do think that plays well with this next generation of, they're looking for authentic brand experiences. They're looking for good brand experiences. And hey, if a brand messes up, what are they doing to, re-engage trust with me? Yeah. So that's very in line with just this authentic next generation and the brand experiences they're looking for.
And the third thing, so brand awareness, good reviews. We know these things we've talked about these for a long time. They're still super, super important now. The other one is good content, good, strong, original content.
Content being?
It can be a blog. It can be a podcast transcript. It can be a YouTube video. Can be.
So it's rewarding you for good content.
Yeah, because that's ultimately how it gets its answers, is from good content. And good content that talks about your brand and talks about your brand favorably and has all the kind of details and markups that you would want you would want that content to be represented as on search, on AI search. So good content, if you don't have a content strategy now, and I've been asking you to for years and 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 years.
You won't quit? No, for sure. Now more than ever, it's more important.
It's right up there with a media plan.
Which is super interesting, because they've been saying content is king has been a saying for a long time. We learned this, even Bill Gates brought it up.
Bill Gates in 95.
That was a good learning lesson for Roop. But it's like, man, now more than ever. And this shift, right? Like, and of course, there's still absolutely a place in your paid media efforts, but your just good organic content is going to win the day over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and
and you have both, and it's a 1-2 punch.
1-2 punch. Also, anecdotally, kind of looking at this, Chris and I think that if you're building a new website, some of the pages that we used to like kind of maybe not put as much thought into are now kind of important. The About Us page.
Yes.
And we don't want to talk about ourselves. It's fine. No one needs to know. Here's a paragraph. We were founded in 1942. Nope. You need
give me the history.
You need to have a really good About Us page, because AI will read that to learn more about you and know when to pull you into its results.
Absolutely. Hey, this is a long-estabed company that is family-owned and operated.
It's so important.
And 100%.
I think FAQ pages will be one that we kind of consider more and more and more. So you can kind of present the kind of questions and answers you have on your own brand,
which plays well in
products
search.
For that. So those are things we've always wanted to do, more important than ever.
And the nice thing is, and I've been here for almost a decade now. You've been harping on this for 10 years, but it's very relevant.
It's just the basics.
Yeah, and as we wrap here, I realize that we're now over 20 minutes. But hey, SEO isn't dead. Search isn't dead.
No, not
it's
yet.
Just a matter of how users are searching. And if there's one big takeaway, especially over these summer months, right? We're in summer now, which is just crazy to think, is focus on good content. Okay, it could be polished. It could not be polished. We're big proponents of lo-fi video. We do it all the time. And then the big takeaway: don't panic. It's all good. This is we're learning. You're learning. It's just this constant evolution. We're celebrating our 45th anniversary in a couple of weeks. We're here 45 years later because this is what we're staying on top of, and we lead ourselves and our clients into this next generation of marketing.
It's just another change on the road.
Another change on the road, man. We're just at this point, we're just cruising, man.
Yeah.
So, anywho, really good. I think we need to do kind of a part 2 of this.
We'll definitely follow up and mention and do some follow-ups as it evolves. And it's evolving right now.
If you want our point of view besides today, we have an official write-up as well. Please DM us, reach out. We'd be happy to share that with you.
It's on littlefieldAgency.com in the POV section.
This guy, what a guy. But if you'd like to reach out, please
please do.
Okay, hey, for those in the Tulsa area, stay safe. For those in the Midwest, it's a tornadic season. It's that time of year, springtime in the Midwest. And stay safe. We'll see you here soon. Thank you all, my friends.
Adios.
And that's a wrap. We hope you've enjoyed our little chat and found ways to grow your own marketing strategies. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media @Littlefield Agency.